Welcome to Anfield, where Liverpool set the standards for others to follow. It was the late Bill Shankly who set out to establish the Reds as a bastion of invincibility. Bob Paisley, Joe Fagan, now Kenny Dalglish have followed that edict. Liverpool romped away with the championship. Performances like this one against Nottingham Forest were a powerful argument for Dalglish's side to be acclaimed as the best Liverpool team of all time.
Houghton goes again, he's through. Beardsley, he seems to be able to find space and find Aldridge. And that is another superb Liverpool goal. Barnes working it to Houghton, Aldridge, Gillespie! Decisive finish. And the move so fast from the corner that all Steve Sutton had done earlier was wiped out in another bewildering piece of Liverpool football. No wonder the goalkeeper shakes his head. Ray Houghton finding Nigel Spatman. Barnes against Chettle. Oh, look at Barnes here. They're waiting for the pullback. Beardsley! Oh! A glorious goal again for Liverpool. And the England forwards conspire to produce another marvellous moment. Chettle. Oh, well played, Spatman. And Beardsley. And Spatman. And Aldridge. It's 5.
Just about the perfect team performance, with Liverpool's strike force, Barnes, Beardsley and Aldridge thrilling the country as they had done all season. For Aldridge, a Scouser born and bred, stepping into Ian Rush's boots, it was a dream come true.
Well, I used to stand, there's a little partition up there, used to be called the Boys' Pen, and it was just the back of the Kop, and I went there for a couple of seasons. It was the cheapest part of the ground to get in, like, and probably the safest. And then eventually I started going on these terraces here. Then, you know, I never ever actually sat in the stand once to watch a game. I was always in the Kop.
And what about travelling to Anfield from your home? How did you used to get here?
We used to have a bus that rode from the top of the street called the Woodcutters football bus, and we used to just get on that at 1 o'clock. I'll be here for 1:30 waiting.
And what did it mean to you, John, after paying your dues a bit at Newport and then with Oxford, to come and lead the attack that you used to watch as a schoolboy?
It's always been my ambition, really, in life, which I thought at 28 when I come here, I thought it'd pass me by. I thought I'd have no chance, really. And I couldn't believe it when I heard the news. It was, I couldn't take it in for a couple of weeks. It's just tremendous, you know, it's just a dream come true.
Alan Hansen. Trying to get McMahon through. Aldridge is on the far side. And John Aldridge has done it again for Liverpool.
John, how hard was it for you to replace a legend like Ian Rush?
The team made it quite easy for me in the end, you know. The gaffer went out and bought Peter and John Barnes and Ray Houghton, and you know they started playing, you know, my sort of balls in the box from the wings, and I was fairly happy last year, you know, with scoring the goals they did.
If John Aldridge had to follow Ian Rush, John Barnes also had a point to prove. Could he fit his brilliant but unpredictable skills into the Liverpool team pattern? Could he ever?
Oh, Byrne wanting a long time to clear that. He dwelt on it too long. Barnes. And Barnes again. 3. Oh, Barnes won it. He won it from Brock. He's got Beardsley going to his left, but still Barnes. That's a fabulous individual goal.
How easy was it for you to fit into this Liverpool system? Because from the outside, it seems it was an absolute piece of cake.
Well, the players, the staff, they made it so easy for me. You know, coming here, I thought it'll take me at least a season to fit in, because Liverpool's game has always been a passing game, whereas my game has always been dribbling. You know, so I thought it'll take me a season to get used to it. But they made it clear to me that they weren't going to try and change me. Obviously, I had to adapt slightly to fit into the way they played. But keeping my own individuality. So I was surprised how easily I fitted in. Luckily, we had maybe 10 pre-season games. We played in Bayern Munich the first game, we played in Madrid, and we had about 8 games in Scandinavia, and that's when we really gelled, you know, with not some very, very good performances then, and that's when it took shape the side.
Were you at all apprehensive, at all nervous about playing here at Anfield in the league for the first time?
No, I wasn't. Simply because of the fact that the first 3 games were away from home, and the team and myself played quite well. You know, I suppose if I had the first game been here at Anfield, I'm sure I would be very nervous because, you know, there were a lot of reports in newspapers that I didn't want to come to Liverpool in the first place, which were totally untrue. So, had the first game been here, I wouldn't know how the crowd would take me, but they were brilliant because of the start we had with the 3 away games where we played really well.
I thought they played marvellous football. It was flowing. They had individual players, you know, like Barnes and Beasley, who could convert half chances into goals. I thought at the back they were superb. As always, they play football from the back and come right through. And I thought it was a joy to come and watch football here last year.
Houghton, space for Beasley. 3 Liverpool players in the middle, if Beasley needs them. He doesn't! A supreme goal! And there it is! Liverpool are the champions. And in the centenary year of the Football League, there can be no more appropriate winners. Today has merely confirmed what has been inevitable from so early in the season.
Oh, boy.
Can you then compare the present Liverpool with your Liverpool, Ian?
Yes, you can. We would have beaten them.
And I agree.
Totally agree. Jim, you can only be the best of your time. It doesn't matter whether you played in the 60s, 70s or 80s. And we've been very fortunate here that in all these years that we've had great teams. But we had a team that, funnily enough, when I think of last year's Liverpool team, we had a team that I think would have beaten them, because we had that little hardness about us that team didn't have, you know. And we also had very good individual players. We had the Peter Thompsons of the world and the Billy Stevensons and you know, and Roger Hunt scoring goals. So we had a lot of great individual players, but we had a bit of steel about us, and I think we'd have fancied ourselves, Tommy.
I think so as well. I mean, the game then in the 60s was there was an awful lot of good players around. I think there was more good players knocking about in the 60s than there is now.
Yes.
And the game was fought and played on a Saturday with just that little bit of edge on. I mean, there was no quarter given. If you did give a quarter, you'd get battered, you know. And I think the Liverpool situation last year was down-marketed a bit purely by the opposition. I mean, the opposition when in the 60s, you know, you had your Leeds United and your Manchester Uniteds, and you know, you could go on your Evertons and your Tottenhams and your Arsenal. They were all good sides. I mean, you could probably pick the winners out of top 12, 13, 14 clubs now. You go
past the post,
maybe 2, 3, 4 clubs at the most.
But you really feel that? You feel you'd have contained Barnes, you'd have shot out to Aldridge, you'd have kept Peter Beardsley quiet?
It all depends on what rules you play. If you played on the rules of 1960, we would have contained them. If you'd have played on the rules today, we probably all got sent off before half-time.
So Liverpool virtually set themselves apart from the rest of the First Division. But they're never satisfied at Anfield. To the horror of their rivals, they pulled off a transfer coup by re-signing Ian Rush from Juventus. The man who scored 31 goals as his replacement was under threat.
Yeah, it's funny. I was playing snooker in the house, and to be fair, I thought, where does that leave me? You know, these things start running through your head.
But as Ian Rush sat on the bench for the first game of the season, Aldridge responded with one of his best performances.
Away goes Barnes. Grit is after him. Shirtliff in the middle, but for Liverpool, Aldridge is there! And Liverpool are off the mark. And the man put under pressure by the return of Rush has done it again. Barry Venison. Long ball towards Aldridge. He's after it. And some good work by Boulder, but he's there by Aldridge. He took the second chance superbly for his second goal of the game. Reed. Cut out by Morby.
There's the long ball again, trying to get Beardsley away. Lurking in the middle once more, John Aldridge. Barnes coming up from the back. Aldridge is there for the hat-trick and makes it. Who's heard about Ian Rush?
Ian Rush took some time to regain his scoring edge, but soon he was back in business again. What's the best thing from your point of view about being back in England and back at Liverpool?
The best thing is, you know, I'm home now and I'm happy. When I was at Juventus, you know, I was going out and playing, and I just felt that, you know, I wasn't as happy off the pitch as well I should have been. And if you're not happy off the pitch, you don't perform to, you know, your full ability on the pitch. And I don't think Juventus saw the true Ian Rush like they did at Liverpool, because off the pitch I have a lot of friends, and I'm happy now, and this is where I want to stay now.
Rush, good effort, great play. Rush really is back in business. Just when West Ham had threatened at the other end, it's McKnight, the goalkeeper, who's beaten. A little ball juggling there, a blast with the left foot, and Ian Rush collects his third goal now in 4 games.